I finally got the car back, the 2022 Civic Sport. And when I say back, I mean from my daughter. Man, 6,402 miles. Let's do a review. And does it still impress? Do I still like it as much as when we bought it? Let's get into it. So here we are. Bought this car around July, August of 2022. It's my daughter's daily driver. And we had it narrowed down to two cars, the Mazda 3 hatchback and the Civic. And this was during the time where cars were just flying off the lots. Hard to find inventory. We just had been searching for a while, but we felt like we'd been patient. We found this car in the valley. It was about an hour and a half away. We called the guy who was nice enough to hold on to it for us, and we bought it. If you want more info, again, you can watch my taking delivery and my first impressions. But this car now has 6,402 miles, and I'm actually on my way to get an oil change. Seems like that's what I'm always doing for my kids. I'm the oil change guy. And it's been a really, really good car. No regrets. She absolutely loves this car. Feels like it was made for her. Fits her perfectly. Had no issues. No issues at all. And you wouldn't expect that from a Honda in the first 6,400 miles. I am still as impressed today with it as the day we drove it. I still feel like this car is more comfortable, seating position and seats, than my Toyota Camry. No doubt. It bolsters. It's comfy. I feel like it's, all things being equal, it's not leather, but it still feels just as comfy as my Camry. And what I like most is the adjustability of the seat in terms of height. But it is super comfy, and it feels on the inside bigger than it looks on the outside. It feels like a full-sized sedan. I love also better than my Camry is the steering wheel. It's thicker. It feels more BMW-ish. And so I like, because my big hands, I like a steering wheel that's a little bit thicker. And so there's two things that I liked right off the bat. Now, I tell you where they did, it seems like they cut some corners. The design is amazing on the interior. I think they got you with the tech and the upgrade design and the styling. And they cut corners. You could tell they cut corners on insulation, because just like my Honda Accord, a lot of road noise. I can hear the tires. It's not obnoxious, but compared to my Camry, which is almost whisper quiet, this is quite loud and noisy. I don't know if you can hear the road noise coming through. And so I think they cut some corners on the insulation, and they cut corners on things like it's a grayscale screen. Until you plug it in, I think you might get some color, but it's grayscale. All right, let me interrupt this video real quick, like for an update. So this is the screen that I'm talking about. Everything is sort of this grayscale. But what I did notice is when I went in and read the owner's manual, it says color touchscreen. What I found is this is the default if you don't have your device connected via the cord. But once you plug your cord in and you go to Apple CarPlay, it's color. So let me cut and show you what it looks like now. Okay, so USB there, plug it in, and it brings up CarPlay. There's your color screen. So it's basically a projection of on there. So I stand corrected. It does have the color screen, but it is not Bluetooth connected. So it has this sort of grayscale until you plug it in. So boom, there you go, update. And the other thing is still manual seats throughout. I mean, you pay $30,000 for a car, you ought to have electric, you know, at least front, back, and rear adjustable. So I think they cut some corners on some things on the interior that should, in my opinion, be standard option, but they got you with the styling, because the styling is, I think they did a fantastic job. Get off the freeway here. Averaging 28.4 miles to the gallon, which is mainly a mixture of a little bit of highway driving, but around town, which is absolutely phenomenal. I have no issues with the interior holding up, other than I don't like the piano black, which is in my car. It shows smudges, and if you've got daughters, you'll know they're putting on their makeup and they're touching things and there's smudges all over it, and so she's got to keep that clean. I'm also not a big fan of the CVT transmission, but this car has changed my mind a little bit. It's not as obvious. It's not a hugely powerful car, but for some reason, the CVT mated with this particular car, it just works. And I don't find myself sort of listening to that weird groan of the CVT and the fault shifting and all that. It's quite quick for how light it is and the power to weight ratio. I don't find myself struggling to get up and go and really try and flog this thing to get out. It works well mated with this. And so the transmission has been great. The motor has been just fine. She has no complaints, she doesn't race the car through the mountains. And so that works just fine. I also really like just being in this in terms of the feel on the road, steering. I just kind of want to push it a little bit. My Camry, do something, buddy. What are you going to do? There you go. My Camry kind of floats a little bit, and that's what it is. It's a sort of a luxury, it's a family sedan. And so this gives me a little bit more inspiration to sort of push it a little bit. Kind of reminds me of my 3 Series 340i. And I said that when I took delivery, not only with the styling, but the interior. What else do you guys want to know about a 6,400 mile review? Comfortable on the inside, easy to fit 5 people. Gas mileage has been great. No real issues with any of the tech. AC blows, cold air. Everything's holding up. Braking's great. The safety systems, I read that there can sometimes be glitches. I haven't had any issues so far. No warning lights. And so it's been really, really smooth at 6,400 miles. So we'll see how this holds up over time. I tend to take very good care of my car, so I don't expect any major issues. But those of you that are looking for a Honda Accord or the Honda Civic Sport, I give it 2 thumbs up. I do think they're just a little bit overpriced if you can get them at or under MSRP. I don't think you're going to be disappointed. I would be happy driving this car, to tell you the truth. There's nothing in here that it doesn't have in terms of tech or, the goodies that I need. The other stuff is, high-level nitpicking, which I will do on occasion. But here I am rolling into an oil change. Just met the nicest guy doing my oil change. It just takes a little bit of kindness. You just say hi, thanks for what you're doing, and people reciprocate. I think we need a little bit more of that in the world for sure, but he did a great job. So if you ask my daughter, would you buy this car again, she would not even hesitate and say yes. She loves her car. In fact, I had to sort of pry it from her cute little hands today. And she had to take my Camry. So would I buy it again? I think yes. The problem is, I think there is probably better value. I don't think, I know. I think there's some better value. I think the Mazda probably provides a little bit more value for your money. You're paying for the Honda name. But in that class of these compact, or hatchback, it's pretty slim, and I think dominated by the Mazda and the Honda. So, injustice, you guys, sorry about that. So I think we chose well. I just think that there's some things that Honda could have done better. From a styling standpoint, they nailed it. I think from an interior standpoint, I think they nailed it. But I think they nailed it cheaply. I hope that's not offensive or makes sense. And what I mean is, why couldn't they have given you electric seats, adjustable seats? Why am I still in 2022 manually adjusting everything? especially for a $30,000+ car. That should be basic, like standard. Why is there a grayscale screen? Why don't I get the color screen unless you go with the SI? I'm pretty sure we've had color LCD screens. They're cheap forever. They definitely nailed you with the styling and the tech inside and some of the what appears to be upscale design, but they got you on getting away with things like no power seats. I think they did not do a very good job of insulating the car well. It's been a huge complaint for the Civic and the Accord. There's a lot of noise. You close the door, and usually the Hondas and the Toyotas are great. You close the door and it's got a nice thunk. You close the door and it's got a little bit of a cheaper feel to it. And I think some of the surfaces, hard plastic surfaces, some of that cloth material, I definitely think they cheapened up. But they nailed the design, and I think they nailed everything else. But Honda can do better. So until next time, guys, I will continue to update you with my fleet of cars, and I hope these reviews are helpful for you. And you guys take care. GTC, please like and subscribe. Till next time, Shane.